The 3 levels of intimacy that you need to master to create a thriving relationship. Having the awareness and working on these with your partner or potential partner will massively transform the love, connection, and chemistry, making you magnetic. So let's get into it. Number 1, of course, is physical intimacy. Physical touch within your relationship is vital. It's something we all experience at some point in our life, but people are leaving so much on the table when it comes to their physical intimacy. They settle for average, not knowing how much more they could experience. It releases the love chemical oxytocin into your brain, meaning you feel way happier and you feel way less stressed. Physical intimacy isn't just having sex though. Things like cuddling, kissing, holding hands, back rubs, massages. These are all things that'll increase the physical intimacy in your relationship. The approach you want to take when it comes to physical intimacy is respect and openness. The main focus should be on deepening your connection. First things first, let's define what physical intimacy is. Physical intimacy is the closeness and connection shared between two people with physical touch. But in order to master it, we must first develop a crucial skill, which is communication. The quality of your relationship is bottlenecked by your ability to communicate your desires. You must have the emotional bravery and feel safe enough to actually ask for what you want within your relationship. If you don't communicate your needs, that means your needs won't get met, meaning you'll get less and less happy in that relationship. Respect each other's boundaries, and remember, consent is an ongoing process. You'll cross lines that you didn't even know that was there, and that's okay, just communicate it when you get there. And not all physical intimacy has to be rushed. Taking it slow is an amazing practice, especially in this day and age of all the instant gratifications and pleasures. Taking your time and enjoying the build-up can make you appreciate it way more, rather than just jumping into bed with someone. But how about if you're just getting to know someone? What if it's your first date? Physical intimacy still applies. Here's some tips. Number 1, first impressions really count. So make sure you hug them when you see them, and this will really kick off the physical intimacy. Number 2, if you're going through a narrow entrance, like a door for example, you can put your hand on their back to help guide them through. Number 3, if you sat down, your legs can touch. You can lean up against each other. And then number 4, if they say something you like or something that makes you laugh, you can quickly touch their hand to let them know. This is a real skill that you can develop, and it's so important that you fully trust yourself. It's like running a load of mini experiments to see what they like. And the only way you can do this is by trying something and working with the feedback you get. And if the green lights keep coming, you know you can keep building up that physical intimacy. The one last thing on physical intimacy, like everything, it can bring up some insecurities and triggers for you. Whether it's feeling unsafe, or you have body image issues, or you lack self-love, or you have a fear of being seen, all these things are beautiful and you get to work through them together. It's so important that you communicate how you're feeling in the moment. When you communicate how you're feeling, it not only builds up the physical intimacy, but it builds the emotional intimacy, which brings me on to level number 2. By the way, if you like this style of content and you want free weekly videos on all things mastering your relationships, hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out. The second level of intimacy that you need to master in your relationships is emotional intimacy. Now, this is the one that most couples get so wrong, but it is so important. It's the emotional glue that keeps your relationship together and keeps you guys connected. At the core level of every meaningful relationship, there's emotional intimacy. It's something that guys particularly struggle with because it requires slowing down and actually being present with your partner. Let's first define emotional intimacy. It is the bond between two people to share your innermost thoughts and feel a level of safety and trust within another person. I can't tell you how important and how amazing this feels to have a relationship to act as a secure base so you can go out and achieve in other areas of your life because you can fully back yourself knowing that your relationship is strong. You should be aiming for a relationship where you feel safe enough to be vulnerable and fully trust the other person. And again, like physical intimacy, communication plays a big part. It's extremely important for you to be able to communicate your needs to your partner, but at the same time, be able to hold space and actively listen to what their needs are without any judgment. Over time, as you become more emotionally intimate with your partner, this will need another level of trust. Think of it like a chart with emotional intimacy on the left and trust on the bottom. You need just as much trust as you have emotional intimacy. Think of it like a line going straight down the middle. The way you build trust is honesty, reliability, and keeping promises over a long period of time. Trust allows you both to be your most authentic selves without any fear. So spend quality time with them, do acts of service for them, ask them deeper, open-ended questions, and this will massively increase the emotional intimacy. Relationship check-ins are a great way to speed this up. Every single week, put time in your calendar to sit down, ask each other questions, and be present with each other. Here's some questions you can work with. Do you feel like we're spending enough time together? Is there anything you wish we did more of? What are things I did in the past week that you appreciated or made you feel loved? Is there anything that's been bothering you lately that we haven't spoke about yet? How do you think our communication has been going lately? Is there anything you need that I haven't been fulfilling lately? What can I do to make your days a bit easier or better? Ask these questions, then give them time to speak without any judgment or interruption. The final point on this is using conflicts and triggers to deepen the connection. Whenever a trigger comes up, that's something you're aware of that you need to work through. You get an amazing opportunity to work on this together, and this will massively deepen the emotional intimacy. We've coached a lot of relationships, and what we found is all the issues come back to the same 8 principles. So we created an ebook called 8 Principles to Mastering Your Relationships, which you can grab in the description right now for free. Okay, the final level of intimacy that people need to master in their relationships is intellectual intimacy. This is all about stimulating our minds within the relationship. This is having deeper conversations. This is asking about their thoughts and opinions. This is about broadening your horizons together, learning together, experiencing together. Shared interest is a foundation for intellectual intimacy. So what do you both love together? Do you love reading? Do you love exercise? Do you love going to conferences? Like, what do you love together? And this will set the foundation for that intellectual intimacy. Encourage each other to explore new ideas, challenge preconceptions, enjoy the love of learning together. A super practical step that you can take is sending each other a podcast at the start of the week. Then at the end of the week, you have an in-depth, interesting conversation about that subject. And please be present and show genuine interest in what the other person is saying. So many men are so in their head, thinking about the next thing to do, think about the next task or the next goal. It's really important to actually be present in this conversation. So ask questions, acknowledge what they're saying, reflect on their ideas. Simply put, give a shit about what they're saying. Embrace it when you don't agree on something. Practice having a healthy discussion rather than a childish, defensive argument. Learning and attending events together is a great way for you to experience growing together, unlike most couples who grow apart. Intellectual intimacy isn't just about sharing knowledge though, it's about problem solving together. It's about taking on challenges together. It's about celebrating their victories, encouraging their growth. Your relationship can literally be the best form of personal development if you master intellectual intimacy. So they are the 3 levels of intimacy that you need to master to create a thriving relationship. It's something that not enough people prioritize. If you're watching this video and you're not in a relationship, but you want to be, and you want to become the best version of you so you can attract the best person, watch this video next, where we go through the 7-point checklist of everything you need to do before entering a relationship. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel where we post weekly videos on all things relationships. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.